Hello, good morning. I have forgotten to happy birthday. How are you doing? Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Isn't it a wonderful time to be alive? Look at the lovely place that we're talking to you from today. Remember, you woke up this morning? It's fantastic. Every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. That's how we always start these things, isn't it? And we are going to wish some happy birthdays to some real people in a moment. I've forgotten my countdown timer. Never mind. Good morning, Graham. Jeff isn't Jeff, I think, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, we're going to talk about fighting your fear during this one here. I'm going to try and do this the right way around this time by wishing a quick happy birthday to everybody, doing the breathing exercise and then getting into the topic of the day, and then coming back and saying happy birthday to these people properly a little bit more later on. Anyway, so there you go. Happy birthday to the people whose real birthdays it is today. Tracy, Richard Woods, Leanne Holt, Tracy Daniels that was, by the way. Matthew Dyson, Zohar Zector, Cristian, Jolanta, Jane Brooks, and a film yesterday, Vernon Sankey, Annabelle, Bayham, Luzviminda, gosh, these are hard names, some of these people, aren't they? Kelly Culver, Jacqui Hogan, Jolanta Jones, Catherine Jolanta Jones, and of course Miriam Maz, Love. Well, love works kind of too, doesn't it? Anyway, happy birthday for all of you for yesterday. And of course, Richard Davis, who was 50 on Saturday. I'm sure he would love me for saying that he was 50. But anyway, happy birthday to you, Richard, from Saturday. And also shout out to Varia, who popped up on my screen during my Instagram live yesterday, on Saturday rather, and came up as a long Roz name that I couldn't pronounce. I misunderstood, didn't recognise that it was Varia that popped up. So anyway, hello Varia, how are you doing? From Russia, of course. Maybe not, of course. Anyway, there you go. Happy birthday to all people. Breathing exercise. What's the one thing you're going to get done today? Or if you're doing this every hour, in the next hour. Breathe out. Breathe in for 5. I haven't done that very well, have I? In through your nose, that was. Put this hand on your heart. Hold for 5 while you light your candles, and then blow out the candles on your cake. Wish everybody a happy birthday. Wish yourself a happy birthday. Remember that one thing that you're going to get done in the next hour. Ideally do that 5 times, especially if you're overcoming panic attacks or anxiety attacks, which is what we're talking about today. Basically, you've got fear. What's going on there? You are fighting your fear. You've got some kind of fear of some description going on in your life, and you get that little panicky anxiety thing going on inside your body. This breathing exercise really helps you to overcome that, and helps you to gain control of your thoughts and your thinking patterns and your feelings. Morning. People walking past up there. So yes, you get that breathing exercise that allows you to gain control of your body. This is the same as the breathing into the paper bag that a lot of people would talk about. This thing here. Or actually, if you saw Inside Out yesterday, it was on TV. I'm not sure which character is the skinny guy who was breathing into a paper bag at one point when he was panicking. There's the exact example of that. And by the way, if you haven't seen Inside Out, fascinating program. The first part is particularly brilliant. The last part is particularly brilliant. The whole middle chase scene nonsense is ridiculous, but then that's Hollywood for you, isn't it? They have to put a chase scene into every blooming movie, don't they? They always have to put a baddie in there and all this kind of stuff. It's very frustrating, rather than just having a nice story that works. It's like, I have to put these elements in because these are going to sell in the cinema. You have to create the fear, and then resolve the fear. To have this hero's journey in every single movie, which you can have a hero's journey, but you can have a subtle hero's journey if you want. In a good movie, you don't have to have a chase scene in every single movie. Anyway, there you go. So you have this fear, and you've gained control of the fear through the thinking process, the breathing process rather, and you got control of that. But the key to understand is that fear is an attempt for your body to try and keep you safe. It's looking at something that's unusual, that's changed, that's something that's scary to you, and it's putting you into this fight or flight mode, and it's going, well, do you need to run away from this thing, or do you need to fight this thing? Or in some animals, freeze as well, and some of us have this freeze reaction as well. Don't know what to do, not sure what to do. I certainly had that myself. in the past. I always used to talk about how I feel like I'm stuck on this like single lane road, and there's a big truck coming straight towards me like this, and I look to my left and it's a sharp razor wire, barbed wire fence that I go to, and I look on the right and it's like a thorn bush, all prickly and nasty, and I'm sitting in the middle going, I don't know which one I prefer. I'm not sure if I want to go through the thorny bush or through the barbed wire fence on the left hand side here. I'm not sure which one's my best, and I felt like this truck's coming towards me and I feel like I don't know what to do, and you kind of get into this freeze mode of doing nothing, and eventually that truck is just going to hit you anyway. So it's like bad stuff, or bad stuff. You go, no, I don't know what to do. Yes, and obviously the real thing to do is to go through the nature, the thorny bush on the right hand side here. Although actually the man-made one might have been easier to, depends. You know, you look at it and you go, okay, well actually that might be dangerous, but it might be easier to prise apart and crawl through. Or maybe even just grab hold of and just hold on to it while the truck comes past, and then take a bit more time to go through it. I don't know, whatever. It's only a metaphor after all. But the point is, it's trying to keep you safe, and we have this fight, fright or freeze response. And I think there is another one as well. I'm not sure what it is, but I can't remember what that is off the top of my head right now anyway. But it's keeping you safe, and it's the same thing as when you look on a car dashboard and you get an engine warning light. And you look at it and you go, oh, what do I do about this engine warning light? And obviously what you do is you typically on a car anyway, you would slow down and stop and get the user manual out and try and work out, what does this mean? What am I supposed to do with this thing? Of course, we don't have a user manual for this £3 computer inside our heads, do we? But that's what hopefully I'm helping people to do, is to understand how to control this computer inside your head and understand how to manage it. So yeah, engine lights come on, you pull over to the side of the road, you look at the manual says, oh, you should have changed, that's ridiculous, I know, this ridiculous analogy, you need to change gear. You need to go from first into second, and you go, oh, okay, all right. You know how to do that anyway, but it could be something else though. It could be you've not got enough oil in your car, yeah, you're not drinking enough water, or you haven't got enough petrol in the car because you're not eating the right foods. Who knows? It's like not enough coolant, your engine's overheating. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other things that could potentially go wrong with your car. When I had my BMW, I had a head gasket problem, and that was causing me a long problem for a while, and then we used some special stuff to fix all that, and it worked beautifully. But I'd forgotten to then top up the coolant in my water thing. And so then when I had winter, it froze and it just blew the head gasket again. So again, it's like not taking care of your body enough. That's almost like you take some pills to get you past a headache, but then you realize that the headache is actually because you're not drinking enough water, and so you're not looking at the root cause to fix the actual problem. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. You've got this fear thing. It's a warning light. It's giving you a chance to stop and think, but your body doesn't do that. So you do the breathing exercise. You know that, we've done that a few times already. But also your body has these set points. This kind of like, and it's like the gears on your car. There's a point at which the car won't go any faster in first gear, and then you need to change into second gear, and then you can change the thing. And it's the same thing in our lives, in our bodies. We have these kind of like unconscious, I've talked about this before, unconscious belief patterns. I talk about, we have conscious thoughts, we have subconscious thoughts, which is kind of like our habits, things we do every day, things we got used to doing, and then we've got unconscious thoughts, which you're not even really aware of. It's very much sort of societal, just a feeling. It's like, this is just how things work, that kind of thing, as opposed to this is how we've always done things. This is just how the world is. Yeah, and that's often that's where the racism comes from, unconscious racism comes from. See, the sun's coming through now. Remember this place from a couple of days ago? Anyway, so you can choose, coming up to 10 minutes already. God, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I try doing these things. Anyway, I'll get better at this. Anyway, so we can reprogram those. But, so we have these set points. We need to reset these set points. We need to change the point at which we're hitting into these problems. So that fear comes into your mind. You're going, oh, what is it? And it's basically a fear of change. It's something unknown, something unexpected, something you're not looking forward to, or it's something that you've experienced in the past or somebody's told you about in the past, and you've projected it forward into the future, and you've gone, what is this thing that I'm scared of now that's happening in the future? I've heard bad stories about this, and don't want to do with it. But you can manage this well, first of all, deciding whether or not you want to do that thing or not. And this is where the thing we talked about ACE before. You have to become aware of the thoughts that's going on in your head, aware of that fear, do the breathing exercise to become more aware of it, then make choices. Do I want to do this thing or do I not want to do this thing? Is this in my positive interest or is it not in my positive interest? Can I grow into this thing that I'm trying to do? Is it something that I need to build to make myself better? We've talked before about becoming more tomorrow than you were today, becoming a better person than the person you are today, tomorrow, or looking back at the other way around. Today, I want to become, actually it's probably better this way around, to think about the present. Where are we right now? Depends where you are in your life, and depends on where you are in the day as well, because it's late at night. It's like, well, tomorrow I'm going to be a better person. But in the morning, like we are now, in the UK at least anyway, we can just become a better person of who we were yesterday. We can look back yesterday and say, okay, I can do that better today. I can put in effort today to be better than I was yesterday, and move that forward. And we can do that every day. We can put these little efforts into every day, and this is what I teach in my programs. It's what I teach in my 7-day Kickstarter. If you're interested in that, let me know. Or the 12-week supported program there as well. And I take you through all these steps. I take you through how to set these things up in the morning, how to build these this strength inside you, how to control your mind, how to control your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. You saw me a couple of weeks ago, and Richard, who I mentioned earlier on, pointed out, and he said that was one of your best lives, is when you actually, when the viewer saw me going into depression and then pulling myself back out of depression. And that happens fairly regularly. Obviously I feel good usually when I'm recording these videos for you guys. So I feel fantastic, and I probably project to, oh, John's always happy, and it's not always true. I do push myself. You've heard me talking about my landing pages on a regular basis, which I still haven't done. Today is the day. Today's the day. It's going to get it done today. And that's a fear. It's a fear of failure. It's a fear of not putting out a good enough landing page. It's a fear of people not liking what I'm doing. It's a fear of doing the Kickstarter program and then having people come on it and not be happy with what they're doing on it. I've kickstarted my Kickstarter several times, and I've had 1 or 2 people saying, yeah, I'm interested in doing it, and then pull out before they've even started, or on day one, or I'm busy, too busy this week. It's amazing how many people will do that sort of thing. No offense to those who did, by the way, if you're watching this. It's absolutely fine. That's how life works sometimes. But it's also sometimes why Jill and Josh, a couple of my mentors, talk about making it into a paid event. So once people have paid for it, they kind of committed to it a bit more than if they're getting it for free. Anyway, so a couple of those little tips then that came from John Assaraf. John Assaraf was talking today as top 50 from John Assaraf today. Very good. I only got about halfway through them this morning. But he's talking about brushing your teeth and priming yourself in the morning. I do a mindfulness exercise while I'm washing my teeth in the morning. He talks about having an accomplishments board up in front of him, so he looks at things that he's accomplished in his life all the time to remind himself about how he's got through these things. After all, you got here today. You have survived everything that life has thrown at you up to this point. And so therefore there will be things in the future that you might need to survive, that you might be fearful of, that you will be able to survive in the same way. He also talks about having a crap board, which is quite cool. Conflicts, resistance, accomplishments and procrastination. Not quite sure how. I want to explore this a little bit more, but it's like what are the conflicts in my life right now? What are the things that are resistance in my life to more landing pages? What accomplishments have I done before? What have I done in the past? I have created landing pages in the past. I have sold things in the past. I've had people come through programs in the past. So these are all good things. I should focus on those, and it'll help me to overcome the fear of the landing page by looking at things that have been successful. I have a whole program about this, by the way, a whole process rather. So if you're interested in that, let me know. It will be paid very, very soon once I get a landing page for that one as well. It's called my Create Happy process. You do it every night. You write these things down, and the next morning you look at them yourself the next day, and it primes your brain. It uses neuroscience to rewire your brain for positivity instead of negativity. Then the final thing that he brought up was how we all have, or most people have, a negative bias, because we are, as humans, designed to look for negativity, for danger, look for that fear, to try and keep us safe. That's what I said right at the beginning there. So we have this fear, and it's just trying to keep us safe. It's trying to keep us within our set points, within things that we're comfortable with, keeping us within our comfort zones, things that we're used to, that we feel comfortable with. That unconscious bias is reinforcing. So we have this negative bias, and if we become aware of the fact that we've got this negative bias, this thing has come up for us, and we can look at the thing that we're looking at and going, I've been negative about this. What's the flip side of that? Because everything has a flip side. Everything has a positive from a negative. You heads and tails on a thing, good and bad. beauty and ugly, I suppose. Bright and dark, all those kind of things. Anyway, there's negatives and positives on everything. There's pluses and minuses to everything, and you can choose to look for the positives in things that have happened. So this thing I'm looking at now, is it negative? Right, okay, well, how can I look at a positive version of that? How can I flip that round and look at the positive version of that? I feel like I've been talking for ages. I don't know how long I've been talking for. I can see it's 8:44. I'm going to finish up there. I'm going to wrap up there. I was going to say happy birthday to a few people, wasn't I, properly? But I did it already. I think I did it already. I think it's probably easier if I do those happy birthdays, but just run through the names and don't say anything too much about people, unless there are people in there who I really want to say something about, and then leave that to the end. And try not to say it too much at the beginning. It's so hard though, because I want to talk about the people when I'm talking about the people in context. Otherwise I might run out of time and never have a chance to say happy birthday to them at the end as well. Anyway, happy birthday to those people. Happy birthday to you, because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. Hopefully this was a useful and helpful thing to lead you into your week ahead on this fine Monday morning. Sending you out with love into the world. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow morning with some more random thoughts on how to control your thoughts and processes. But if you want to learn more, let me know, and I will put you into my programs when I'm available. Okay, bye for now.